Hello, my math independent study students. In this video, we are going to talk about 9 properties of real numbers. Let's begin to introduce these 3 variables, A, B, and C are real numbers. Property number 1. We are going to call it identity. So this property says that if I have a real number plus 0, the sum of a real number and 0 is itself. Or the product of a real number and 1 is also itself. So this example, if 5 is a real number, the sum of 5 0 is 5, and the product of 5 and 1 is 5. Property number 2 we call inverse property. So the sum of A and its inverse, which is the opposite, could be equal to 0, and the product of A and its inverse is 1. So for example, 6 plus the inverse of 6 will be negative 6, or the opposite equals 0, and 6 times the inverse of 6 will be 1 over 6 is 1. Property number 3, double negative. So when we have two negative sides, the product of two negative become positive. So example, double negative of 2 is positive 2. Property number 4 is called commutative. So this says that the sum of A and B is the same as the sum of B and A. The product of A and B is the same as the product of B and A. So example, 1 plus 2, the sum of 1 and 2 will be the same as the sum of 2 and 1. The product of 3 and 2, which is 6, will be the same thing as the product of 2 times 3. Property number 5 is called multiplication of 0. So if we have a real number, the product of a real number and 0, the product of that two factors will be 0. So for example, 2 times 0 is 0. Property number 6 is called division. So if we take 0 divide by a real number, the quotient or the answer is 0. Now with a condition that your denominator cannot be 0. Okay? Example, 0 over 3 is 0, and 3 is not 0. 3 is your denominator. And how about a number divided by itself? the quotient or the answer is 1. And again, we have to make sure the denominator is not 0. Now, in this case, the denominator and the numerator is exactly the same number, the same real number. Okay? So, example, 6 divided by 6, 1. How about a real number divided by 0? The quotient is undefined, or the answer is undivided. And again, in this case, we have to make sure that the numerator is not 0. Property number 7 is the reduction. So if I have this rational number and the numerator is factor A and C, and the factor for the denominator is B and C. So therefore, you can see that you can cross out the C or divide by C both. So your quotient or your final answer will be just A over B. With a note that your denominator B cannot be 0, and your C is also in your denominator cannot be 0. So example, 12 over 8. Now let's go ahead and write out the factor of 12. 12 will be 3 times 4. 8 will be 2 times 4. So the 4 divided itself is gone, so you have 3 over 2. Property number 8. It's called associative. So let's start with the sum. This is the sum of 3 numbers. We can go ahead and associate or group the first 2 numbers. First will be the same thing as the same 3 numbers, but you are going to find the sum of the last two numbers first. Okay. So example, 1 plus 2 plus 3. So we add 1 and 2 first. So the sum will be 6. So the same thing is 1 plus 2 plus 3. So both expressions, the left hand side is 6, and then the right hand side is also 6. Okay. Or for the product A times B times C, so we are going to associate, or we're going to group the A and B first with the same thing as A times B times C. So example, if I have 5 times 2 times 3, so 5 times 2 is 10, 10 times 3 will be 30. Now on the right hand side, if I go ahead and group the 2 and the 3 first, so the product of 2 times 3 is 6, 6 times 5 is 2, 30. Okay, so the left hand side and the right hand side, the product is the same. Property number 9 is called distributive. So if I have A times the product of 2 terms, okay, A times the sum of B and C. Okay. Then what we are going to do is that we are going to distribute the 8 with each one of the terms inside our binomial. So that will give me A, B plus A, C. So example, if I have 2 times x plus 3, so distribute the 2 to each one of the terms inside our binomial. So that will give us 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 3 is 6, so 2x plus 6. So this will be the conclusion for this video. Let's write down the summary, and also for the question, you have to write your own question, please. And I'm going to delete or erase extra vertical line right here. So write that summary. So what did we learn in this video? We learned are 9 properties of the real number system. And go ahead and list them out. So the first one is identity. And then next will be inverse. After inverse, we learn double negative. After double negative is the commutative. Let me erase this vertical line. Thank you. Okay, and then multiplication of 0. And then division. Reduction. Associative. And distributive property. Thank you so much. I will see you in class. Goodbye, my student.